Hello everybody and good day. My name is Will Chapman. I'm Vice President of Marketing with Brock Partners. Today, I'm here to talk to you a little bit about something practical, and that's going to be what your tech stack is going to look like. Now, this is going to be a multi-layered approach at this, and in this first video, what we're going to discuss are the basics, right? What questions should I be asking before I invest in my technology? And we'll discuss this in a second. A lot of the time people will jump right into a decision, regret that decision, and then have to start back over. There's no reason to have to do that. There is a way to ask the right questions and make the best decision right out of the gate. So let's go ahead and get this kicked off. Number one, do not buy first. Your first initial gut reaction is to say, okay, well, I need a CRM. I need to just go buy one. And as true as that may be, not all CRMs are created equal. There are different capabilities, there are different aesthetics, there are different processes, there are different elements that can be put into certain CRMs that you can't put into others. All right, now I could go through the entire gambit of all the CRMs that are out there, but if you're doing this research, you're going to see them all on your own. What's important is that you're asking yourself the right questions and that you're making the best possible decision. So again, ask the right questions. So what are the questions I'm talking about? Number one, can I access and service my clients effectively? The largest reason for a fully functioning CRM in your business is to ensure that you can maintain retention of your clients. If you're not able to retain retention of your clients, then your revenue and everything about the business is going to suffer. So, if someone calls in and you're shuffling papers around, or you can't find their information, or you don't know what plan they're on, that's not instilling confidence in your client. It's a huge reason why you need a CRM that you're able to actually use and utilize. Next, do my current systems allow me to market effectively? How are you marketing? Is it Facebook marketing? Is it referral marketing? Is it grassroots marketing? However you are marketing, there are certain processes and systems that you can put into place that you can basically replicate yourself, especially if you only have yourself or maybe another couple of employees. You have a decent amount of lead flow coming in, but you can't get to everybody in a reasonable time. How am I actually communicating with those people when they're showing that interest? Next, do I have a repeatable and trainable process? Now this is huge, especially if you're going to be hiring. It's very, very difficult to bring in a group of people and throw them into a system and have no training process and no repeatable process and something that's not simple to do. So just for your own sanity while you're hiring and before you start hiring, make sure that your CRM is a CRM that you can actually train people in, that is easy to use, that is intuitive, and again, has all the tools that you and your agents will need. And then lastly, your budget. Now, you can't look at this word as if I'm telling you to get a budget CRM. That's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm asking you to do is to look at your budget and see realistically what can I pay per month for this, and realize that great systems do have a cost. This is an overhead cost in your business. This is something that is going to pay for itself if it is instituted correctly. So make sure that you are looking at this budget, but you're also being fair to yourself and you're being fair to your business, and that it's a CRM that you can grow into. A lot of the times people will get a CRM that's super cheap, and then a year down the road, they've already outgrown that CRM, and now they have to take that information, put it into another CRM, and start again. Make sure you find a CRM that grows with you, and that is going to be a huge part of your budget, okay? Next, another couple questions that we really need to ask here, and these are important because every lead, especially if you're marketing and spending money, every one of those leads are costing you something. They're either costing you time or they're costing you money, and both of those resources are extraordinarily valuable. So, how do my leads come in? Big question here, do I need direct integration? So for instance, if I'm using Facebook marketing, do I have the integration that I need so I can bring those leads in immediately and then communicate with them on a moment's notice, right? If I'm doing things like referral marketing and I'm getting referrals from doctor's offices or pharmacies or financial advisors, am I making it easy on my referral partners to get information over to me? And do you have a process for that? What integrations do I have and how can I make things easier? Next, what is my follow-up process? When I do get a lead that comes into my system, am I able to immediately grab that lead, call them, get them on the phone and speak to them? Or am I covered up with service and current appointments, but I need something that is at least going to reach out and have some sort of communication with that person? Hey, I'll be calling you back in X amount of time, or we'll get to this in a second. If you would like to, you can go ahead and schedule an appointment on my calendar for what works best for you. There are a lot of options that you can use to communicate and have them actually make that final decision. Take kind of the pressure off of you and know that that communication is there. So once you've made these decisions, and it's a lot of questions to ask, I understand, but once you've made these decisions and you're going with it, the CRM is the staple that's going to hold everything together in your business. What exactly is it holding together? Your service, which we talked about, retention. Your reporting, so that your data is correct whenever you do pull those reports. You can see what the new revenue is. You can see how many policies went on the books. You can see how many of them were new to Medicare versus already existing on Medicare. You can see how many are carrier to carrier to same carrier, or carrier to a different carrier. Am I able to filter down these options so that I can get the exact reporting that I am looking for? It's a really big question for your business, and it'll also be the crystal ball to help you market in the future. Retention, discussed this already. If your business is falling off the books, then your business is losing value day by day by day. Make sure that that retention is high. It is a core tenet of creating a solid Medicare business. Can't do it without it. Next, communication. Do I have time to communicate with each and every single lead that comes through, or do I need a little bit of help with that? Marketing. Do I need those direct integrations? If I do, then I'm going to have to choose a CRM that's going to do it. And then, of course, scheduling. There are a lot of different scheduling softwares out there, but CRMs have them built in. And keeping everything in one ecosystem is a lot cleaner than having to go out from here or have it come through a Zapier bridge that may or may not break. Everything internal, that's what you're wanting. Keep everything in one ecosystem. Now, I have data right over here. I have it in big letters because this is probably the most important aspect of getting started and putting a CRM together for yourself. Now, depending on how much data you have, this can be a laborious process or it can be really, really simple, right? If you're just getting into the business, you got 50 to 150 new clients that are on your book, you're starting to see some residuals, you're starting to see, I need to get some processes in place. Well, then moving that many clients over, it'd take a little bit of time, but not a whole lot of time to do that. What I'm talking about is if you are an individual that has 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 and up of clients, actual clients in your system, the most important thing that you can do that when you're moving into another CRM is, of course, trust the import processes that they have, but verify that the information is correct. Now, I know that this can create another level of manual work that not a lot of people have the time to do or even want to do. But honestly, it is the best use of your time initially when you are getting this data set up to make sure that it is 100% clean. Now, this does require some spot checking, but the way that I view this is if I can take an hour after work or a Saturday and take a few hours to go through all of this data, make sure that everything is matching up the way that it needs to, maybe even take a week to do it, whatever it takes you to do it. But then after you're done, you can rest assured that the information that's in your CRM is 100% accurate. And anytime you get that phone call from that client that needs the service, you can know that the information is there. And there's a lot of peace of mind in that, I can tell you for sure, especially working with my support team up front. Next, compliance. Is your CRM HIPAA compliant? Does it have your SOC 2 certifications? Is everything in place for Medicare? Because of the PHI and PII rules that are in Medicare, you have to make sure that your CRM is security qualified in order for you to use it. If it's not, then, if something gets audited or something like that, you can run into some issues. Now, that's not a huge issue out there. Most CRMs are compliant on all levels, but you want to make sure that you're doing that extra step of verification just to make sure that your information is going into a compliant system. So once I have the CRM stood up, right, I have my data in, I've kind of decided this is what I want to do with my marketing. I fiddled around with, if automation is something that you want to play with, I fiddled around with automation a little bit. Now I am ready to start looking at the other tech solutions and what it's going to look like to implement these other tech solutions in. So we're going to be talking about enrollment and quoting tools, resources, and briefly, we're going to touch on AI because that can be an entire video on its own. So with Sunfire, that's going to be your enrollment platform for your Medicare Advantage and for your prescription drug plans. Having an integration on the back end with Sunfire that takes the data out upon enrollment, throwing it back into your system can save you a ton of keystrokes. It also saves user error as well whenever data is being input into the system. So if you can get yourself a system that does have that direct integration, that can save you a ton of time. But these enrollment platforms are meant to save you time. So even if that integration isn't there, which it should be, by the way, but even if it isn't there, this keeps you from having to go into those carrier portals. You can do everything that you need to do from one platform. CSG quoting tool and MedSup toolkits and insurance toolkits, things like that. These are going to be your quoting tools to run your MedSup quotes. Some are different and better than others. CSG gives us very, very accurate quoting on Medicare supplement. So whatever you decide to use, just make sure that it is accurate. Now, again, like things like the insurance toolkits have underwriting and things like that built into it, which can be super valuable, especially for new agents who don't have a ton of experience in the underwriting side of things. So it might be a great tool to put people onto just until they really get going, or they might just use it for the long term. Several of our agents use the insurance toolkits along with the CSG quoting. It's really a preference more than anything else. Next, you have your actual carrier tools. And a lot of people would say, well, this isn't really part of your tech stack. I would disagree. They're severely underutilized in my opinion. So things like UHC Jarvis and Humana Vantage, these platforms already have a lot of tools built into them that you can use to help you find information. Primarily and most useful, the LIS and Medicaid information on a lot of different prospects that come in. So don't overlook these carrier resources. They're very, very powerful, and they can help you and get you information that maybe they don't even have. And when I say they, I'm talking about your leads or your clients. You might be able to provide them with something that they had no idea of. Lastly, AI. Now, with AI, there are several different ways that you can implement. Number one, most CRMs have some degree of AI that is built into it already, whether that's an AI receptionist that you can train or whatever the case may be. And going back to training for just a second, if you are training your own AI bot, you're going to have to feed that bot a lot of information. Test that bot, because again, it's only going to be as smart as the information that you are giving it. So if a question comes in and it doesn't know how to answer, it's going to throw some sort of crazy response that can prevent that lead from wanting to do business with you just because they see some crazy response and then they're just not interested anymore. We've seen that before. On the other side of the AI, there are really excellent companies out there who have developed their AI tools. Folks like CareCycle, for instance, have trained their AI bots with millions and millions of calls, with different kinds of service calls and angry people calling in. It can handle pretty much everything that you can throw at it. It's an AI receptionist that will either send you the call if need be, if you are available. If you're not available, it can schedule appointments for you. So it can essentially be an assistant for you right out of the box. And this is for independent agencies as well. All right, so these AI tools, they're coming along, and it's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to scale, but I will say that with AI, just make sure that if you are using it, that you do your research on it and that you are training it effectively, because if not, it can cause you some bigger headaches than it can actually help you with. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about GoGuru X, which is our CRM that we have developed here in office. Now, all of these issues and all of these problems have been thought about very, very carefully and painstakingly when building out this platform. We have solved for everything that is here. So we would love an opportunity to show you GoGuruX. If you would, you can reach out to us and request a demo at gogurux@brockpartners.com. Shoot that over to us. We'll make sure that we get a demo scheduled as soon as possible with you so that you can actually see what's going on there. All right. Again, our CRM was built with the agent in mind so that all of these questions could be solved in one simple system. Hope y'all got something out of this. We would love to have y'all here for any of our Behind the Agencies Agent Bootcamp. If you have any questions at all, you can reach out to us at support@brockpartners.com. We'd be very, very happy to assist you there. Thank y'all so much. Y'all have an excellent rest of your day.